This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. Alright, so we got a horrible rare, one that I think is utterly unplayable, so it's not really where you want to be in your first pack ever of the format. I do like Enterprising Scallywag a fair bit. Seems like it'll make a treasure often enough. Waterwind Scout is probably Blue's best common. I've also gotten a Braid, though. It's pretty hard to say no to a Braid. Pretty hard to say no to a Braid just because it does so much in this format, and it's probably just the best card in this pack. It's kind of unexciting because I've played with it before, but it seems so crazy good in this format that I think it's just going to be better than Waterwind Scout. You know, just take the premium removal that is more premium than normal because this format has like a pile of artifacts in it. Ooh. So I like Chupacabra Echo a lot. I think it might be Black's best uncommon. It doesn't seem that hard to get it going. That said, being in red with it isn't the best pair, but it's not the worst either. Red-black is sort of... It's like a Descend deck, but it's not as good at getting Descend 4 or Descend 8. Because green and blue are the better colors for that to pair it with. But I think the Chupacabra Echo is good enough that I'd probably just grab it. I do want to try out Twists and Turns. I like this common a fair bit, but yeah, we will take the Echo. See if it lives up to the Chupacabra name. I think it will. Rare draft on the temp account. Yeah. Yeah, red-black is Descend, but it's more about descending, like, having turns where you get value out of descending, getting one permanent into your graveyard, whereas I'd say blue-black and green-black are both about putting a ton of stuff into your graveyard. I do think Braided Net is quite good. I could take it here. You know, obviously, it would take us in a different direction than we've started, but it is, I think, pretty good. Tap stuff down, draws you cards and stuff. The main new mechanics are craft and various descend mechanics. I like the Kin Collar a decent amount too, but yeah, the red cards and the black cards in here aren't great. I do like all these caves, but let's just grab Braided Net. It's a rare. It's definitely the kind of thing you need to play with to get your hands on. Yeah, Discover. That's true. I don't think this is particularly good. I mean, I think, you know, if you're really into descending, it's probably okay, but I don't think it's a very good rare. I do think Synapse Necromage is pretty good. Especially if you're good at sacking things, gives you 3 bodies. The Land Cyclers, some of them are better than others. I think this one's fine. I think the Necromage is probably the best card here, though, and we do already have a really powerful black card, so I think it makes that pick easier. This format should be slower than the others, and if it isn't, it might be a bad format because most of the mechanics, Descend 4, Descend 8, the caves, like all of those things need games to go long to do their thing. And if all of those mechanics are failures in terms of being competitive, this format's going to get a lot less interesting, I think. So, okay. This card's pretty interesting. You know, normally this 3-mana tap for mana of any color artifact is not good and limited, but this one turns into a creature later, but it takes it a while. I do like Didact Echo okay. You know, right now we're not that good at loading the graveyard, but we've got an Echo. Well, 2 Echoes is what we would have. We've got the Chupacabra Echo, so I think we'd probably take Didact Echo here. Yeah, I think that's where we go. I mean, the red cards here are fine, but we need to pick up some self-mill to really feel good about what we're doing. We may end up not playing our first pick, depending on how things go. But yeah, I mean, if I'm going to be a blue-black deck, I'm going to go super hard on Synergy, as I usually do during early access. It doesn't always tell you something. You know, the best example of that is when I drafted like a blue-green ramp deck in the first draft of... which one was it? The one with all the Power Stones. Nope, that's not it either. Phyrexia All Will Be One, maybe? And like I drafted a really sweet deck that like ramped like crazy, and I had like the Phyrexian Portal at 9 mana, and that deck did amazing, but then it turned out in the long run that that deck is not very good. Deathcat Marionette's exactly what we want. It mills us some and trades for anything. I like the Puzzle Door too for this deck. It puts 2 permanents into your graveyard, so seems like blue-black is where we're headed. Seems like that's where we're headed. Helm of the Host play. Yeah, I did stuff with Helm of the Host. That was like one of the funnest drafts ever, but then that deck was completely like an outlier, you know. It was not representative of what the format was about at all. Because the blue-green deck basically didn't exist in that format. You know, even Discover, like, it's not necessarily a slow mechanic, but the cards it appears on aren't exactly fast. I think I'm interested in Hidden Acropolis a little more than Acolyte of Aclazotz or Didact Echo, because this puts a permanent in our graveyard, and it's just a powerful effect. So, you know, I do like Idol of the Deep King a fair bit. It's one of these cards that I think will be much greater than the sum of its parts. You know, both sides look bad, but both of them together is pretty good. Another Echo's not bad, but yeah, I think I just grabbed the Necropolis here. Okay, we've got a Pirate Hat. Does help load our graveyard. We do have Captivating Cave, which can fix in, like, you know, if we want to play a Braid, it's not terrible. Also throws itself in the graveyard. This is interesting. If you're trying to load your graveyard, this can definitely do it, but it seems kind of bad when you can't. I do think this is going to overperform, you know. But yeah, so Pirate Hat, Fungal Fortitude. Do we just want to cave? I kind of think maybe I just want to cave. Maybe we can backdoor our way into a cave deck, you know? You can't really be blue-black caves. You're kind of going to have a third. You need 3 or 4 colors, I think, for the cave deck to really work. So how many artifacts do we have right now? Not very many. Are these artifacts? No, they're saprolings. I mean, it is going to be what we take because everything else in this pack is super underwhelming. But we need more artifacts for Waylaying Pirate to be worth it. Because right now we're sitting at 1. I think the cave deck will work, but I think it won't work out. You know, it won't be a kind of deck that can work out draft in and draft out. Another good cave here, but I do like Puzzle Door enough in a deck where we've already got, you know, a couple of nice payoffs for loading our graveyard. So I like it a lot more than Stupefaction, which I think is a bad removal spell. Does mill you, so it's probably kind of playable, but I'd rather have a card that actually replaces itself and puts 2 things in the graveyard instead of, you know, that. All right, I mean, I think if we're going to be a grindy graveyard deck, Shipwreck Sentry is probably a fine 2-drop to have. Buried Treasure is interesting. Does give us fixing, goes in the graveyard, but I think we kind of need 2-drops, so, you know. I don't know. You know, the Gate deck in Ravnica had one big advantage over this deck that I think will make it work less often than the Gate deck. And that is that all the gates fixed your mana. The stuff in this set does not. Mostly. There's a few exceptions. You know, we have Captivating Cave, but we'll take the Mycoid. It gives us bodies, you know, when we descend, so seems on brand. But yeah, right now we're not playing Waylaying Pirates. We'll put that over there. If they're not fixing, we might splash a Braid. Yeah, well, I could go harder on fixing, but I think just taking another one of these is kind of where we want to be. Like, we just want to have the game go long and then get value out of the graveyard, so. Okay, so Queen's Bay Paladin is really good, but we don't have that many vampires. Do we have any right now? No. Like, I would like this card. I think it's a bomb. But given what our deck looks like after our first pack, I honestly think we take another Echo instead. Like, this thing is just so good and gives us another major incentive for lowering our graveyard. So I don't actually think we take, like, pack 1, pick 1, I would take Paladin because I think it has a higher ceiling. Although that may end up just not being true. Like, the Echo may just be a bomb level uncommon. on the same level as the Queen's Bay Paladin, because they both need the graveyard, but this needs more specific things in the graveyard. So, but I think we take another Echo here and just keep going. So Deep Fathom Echo is pretty good. We would need to splash it. Staunch Crewmate is not very good in our deck right now, is it? I guess we have 2 pirates and 2 artifacts. That's not terrible. Our other options are the mediocre Ray of Ruin, Oaken Siren, which seems okay. Yeah, we probably just take a Crewmate here. We don't want the Monument. We're not going to be a cave deck. I mean, I think we would have... You need to pick up a payoff probably in the first couple packs to really make caves worth it, and we didn't get one. So we're just going to grab a Crewmate here. I guess Oaken Siren would make, like, Waylaying Pirates more playable. We might find enough random vampires to be worth it, but I think a second Echo might just be better than the first one of those. Unless I already had, like, 3 vampires, you know. Then that's a little bit different. Another Pirate Hat. Also a Brine Fang. I do like these in this, you know, in a deck where we're trying to get permanents into our graveyard, and then in the late game it's just a huge monster. These caves are going to be nice in our deck too. I don't hate Defossilize. Like, getting back a dead Echo, for example, is kind of nuts. Right now we don't have any, like, insane things to get back, but, you know, we do have graveyard stuff going on. So maybe it's worth trying it out over, like, the Land Cycler. Yeah, let's take a Defossilize, see what happens. We're loading our graveyard reasonably well at this point. I mean, we need to do better, but we're doing okay right now, so. Out of Air. No thank you. Okay. So this does put itself in the graveyard, and it can fix our mana. Pit of Offerings can hate on the opposing graveyard and fix our mana, although you have less control over it. I guess you can target your own graveyard, but we don't really want to be doing that. I don't love Out of Air. Skulker's okay. I just don't love any of this. I guess a third cave does get us in the neighborhood of being able to play some of the cave payoffs all right. And, you know, being able to play a Braid would be nice. But yeah, the other stuff in this pack isn't great for us. Graveyard Hating Cave, or... Yeah, we'll take the Promising Vein. Alright, Screaming Phantom's nice for our deck. Loads our graveyard when it attacks. Decent flyer in general. Yeah. I mean, right now, 2 Echoes is more than enough of an incentive to be doing graveyard things, so... I think the Goblin is fine, but I think it's better if we're aggressive, like a black-red deck, and that's just not what we're doing. Green does seem reasonably open, but I've reached the point where I just want to, you know, maybe against my better judgment, force force the graveyard deck. So let's take a Brine Fang here. Throws itself in the graveyard. Big thing later. So Compass Gnome is interesting. We're not really a cave deck, but... You know, it can grab us a cave or any other land. Minecart's not bad. You know, when you have crewmates or shipwreck sentries and stuff, like, crewing this isn't bad, and it makes treasure. It's definitely better in, like, a deck that wants multiple artifacts in play, and we're not really that, but... I think I'll take Compass Gnome, I guess. It's not very exciting, but... Thank you for the resub, Lord Bio. So right now, playing a Braid is doable. Ooh, I like a River Herald Scout here. This is a nice common that I think people who didn't play in other Ixalan are going to underrate. Thank you for the sub, A-Stain Fingers. Because, you know. So this shakes out as either 2 mana, 2/3 Surveil 1, or 2 mana, 1/2 draw a card, and I like both of those. All right, so we've got a Bloodthorn Fail here. We've also got a Song. Both of these look kind of bad in most decks, but I think might be okay here. Yeah, let's go for it. Do I like the... I wonder if the Flail is better. They're both, like, cards that aren't going to give you a card of value most of the time, but help you load your graveyard, basically. Like I said, I'd rather have, like, Puzzle Doors, but, you know. How many artifacts are we at now? 3. Still not enough for our waylaying pirates. Let's see. More graveyard payoffs would be good. We do have, you know, the Echoes and Defossilize and Didact Echo. Well, I guess when I say Echoes, I mean the Chupacabra ones, but they all... The Didact Echo works too. I do not think Relic's Roar is good. I don't really want any of these cards, so... I mean, I guess I'm going to grab another Cave on the off chance we end up backdooring our way into a Cave deck, but I don't think it's happening. We might splash for a Braid. I haven't decided yet. I think I'll do it if it's not very difficult, but right now it doesn't look super easy. This card's interesting. It's definitely better for the, I think, more aggressive versions of this deck, but, you know, we'll take it, try it out. We're going to be milling ourselves and stuff. All right, we do get another random Cave, so, you know, the Cave thing, my guess is there weren't any payoffs opened. Most of them are uncommon, and you probably want, like, 2 of them, so, yeah. My guess is there weren't any open, so people aren't really going after the Caves. Thank you for the sub, Lord Waffles. Okay. It's got a creature land. I'm not that excited about that, though. I mean, pack one, pick one I would be, but, you know, they're not actually... They fix your mana, and if we wanted to splash white, I'd think about it, but they're pretty hard to actually animate when you play them for a splash. Alright, so we got some good stuff here. This card really interests me. I didn't give it the highest grade in the set review. I think I gave it a D, maybe, but I've seen a lot of other people be really high on it, so it definitely is interesting. You know, freezes something down for a few turns, then turns into Guidestone Compass. I worry that it won't give you a card of value quickly enough. I think Waterwind Scout's probably better. Mephitic Draft isn't bad, but it's better if we're a sack deck than what we're doing. So, you know. Ooh, Preacher of the Schism is good. Doesn't load our graveyard or anything, but it's just a great rate. You know, 3 mana, 2/4 Death Touch makes things happen when it attacks, regardless of whose life is where. Wouldn't hate a Tithing Blade or a Spike Tail, but yeah, we're going to take Preacher. So I think the best payoffs for that deck are probably the red one, which is a sweeper. Ooh, we get a 3rd Chupacabra. Yes, please. Scampering Surveyor is pretty sweet, but yeah. You've got the Cave, and then you've got the white one that makes tokens and then makes counters, and then you have the red one, which is a sweeper. I think those are probably the best ones, but the blue one's pretty good. And, you know, the green one and the black one I think are less awesome, but, you know, you'll go that route. Yeah, we have 3 Chupacabras. I think I'm pretty happy to start my format with 3 of those. And a decent amount of ways to load our graveyard while we're at it. You know, I recorded, because I'm unfortunately not going to have time to record it after I play in this event, I recorded the best commons and uncommons video. And even though I think I gave this a B- in my set review, I think I managed to leave it out. So that's good job, me. So Inverted Iceberg does exactly what we want. I think we take it. Loads our graveyard. You know, draws us a card. I do like Council of Echoes okay, but right now I think I'm more interested in trying to enable our Chupacabras than I am in grabbing more graveyard payoffs. So there is a dead weight for what that's worth. Is it better than Iceberg? Probably not. I mean, I just feel like the synergy on Iceberg, there's a little bit with dead weight, right? It goes to your graveyard pretty easily, but the Iceberg just seems like it'll do more. It likes when we have artifacts in our graveyard too. Man, I thought this was a 4th Chupacabra for a second, but it's not. It's a much worse card. How many pirates and artifacts do we have now? Not really enough to be super excited about Crewmate. Probably just take another Screaming Phantom here. I don't really think we're going to bother with a Braid. Okay, so these are all three really good blue commons. How are we doing on 2-drops? We're doing pretty well. Puzzle Door puts 2 permanents in our graveyard, generally speaking. Waterwind Scout probably gives you the best rate of all of them. I think we probably go with Scout. I would love more of all of these. Well, maybe not a Phantom. We do already have 2 of those, but this can explore off its map token, and that obviously helps. It also can make our sentries attack sometimes. Yeah, we probably don't play Compass Gnome. I like Cogwork Wrestler a reasonable amount. Conservator gives you a way to hate on the graveyard. Ooh, I think maybe we just want Chart a Course. Draw 2, discard 1's good in our deck anyway, and yeah. The one thing we don't have, I mean, our Echoes are removal, but other than them, we don't have that much, but I think I like Chart a Course here over Cogwork Wrestler. Well, we get a rare in our colors, which is like an okay card no matter what, but if we ever get to send 8 and it gives us all 3 modes, I think we are happy. Another Iceberg would be nice. Scout too, but I think we take the spell. It isn't a permanent, which is annoying. We want as many permanents as we can muster, but all right, should we give Lodestone Needle a chance here? Probably should. Draft, like I said earlier, pretty good if you're sacking, not as good if you're not. I do like Fanatical Offering a fair bit, and if I didn't want to try this out so badly, I'd probably take it over the Needle, but I'm going to take the Needle here. See if I was wrong about it right off the bat. I think we'd rather have Cogwork Wrestler. Hurl into History has like a really high ceiling, but I don't like the floor. Okay. Another Song loads our graveyard. We do need removal more than anything, probably, so I'll take Unlucky Drop. Another Brine Fang. Our deck looks pretty good, I think. Pretty good. Pretty good. We got some cuts to make, but I don't think they'll be that hard to make. So we could have a Hurl if we want one. I guess that's what I'm going to take. Free Puzzle Door. Yes, please. Yeah, so we're going to be able to load the graveyard. I mean, getting to Descend 4 is going to be easy. Killing things with our Echoes is going to be easy. So on and so forth. I think we got there on Synergy, I guess, is what I'm saying. Some trims to make, and in the end, we probably don't run either Captivating Cave or Promising Vein. We're good enough at loading the graveyard without either of them, and having lands that produce one of our 2 colors better is going to be much more useful. So, yeah, I think we get rid of those. So, yeah, so cycling this away and reanimating it with Defossilize is pretty sweet, obviously. So what are our weakest cards? Do we need Song of Stupefaction? I mean, we don't have much removal, so we're a little desperate for it. I don't love Canonized in Blood in this deck. Like, I just don't feel like making our creatures bigger is where we're going to want to be. I think the sentries are actually pretty good in the deck. We have more artifacts than it looks like we do because of scouts, and we're going to want to sort of slow the game down. Crewmate might not actually be very good. I mean, we have... I guess if we hold on to this many artifacts and pirates, Crewmate is actually pretty good. I don't know that we're going to, though. Yeah, it's always tough cutting decks at the beginning of a format when, these days they print very few cards that are like, wow, that's terrible. I'm never playing that. So it's harder than it looks. Yeah, I'm curious to see how the Needle ends up working. That's why I want to play it. Yeah, Brood Rage Mycoid. It's not great. Hurl isn't a card I love either, just because of the downside, which is it's only reactive. It doesn't do anything in your hand unless your opponent does something. Spitting out funguses it can't block doesn't have that much value in this deck because we're not sacrificing them or anything, and I think we'd like to block. The Wrestler looks situational, but this 1 mana 1/2 flash -2/-0 is always better than it looks. Now, cutting things that aren't permanents, that is a good point you make. And we do have 4. So, we probably want to cut at least 2. And the ones we cut should probably be those that don't do anything with the graveyard. So, like, Unlucky Drop probably can be cut. It is removal, but, you know, we've got Braided Net and stuff to sort of fill that gap. So, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, there might be something to be said for 16 lands. There might be. So, we've also got Chart a Course, right, which isn't a permanent. We've got Defossilize, Chart a Course. Where are other non-permanents hiding? Don't we have... We have 3 sorceries still. Where am I missing the other one? Chart a Course, Defossilize. Oh, Whale of the Forgotten. Yeah. Yep. Well, the crewmate actually has a lot to hit, but the question is whether it will after we do some more cutting. That's the question. Yeah, Canonized in Blood is probably not good in our deck. It is a permanent, but cutting it and... God, I don't want to cut Chart a Course very much, but the more I think about it, the more I'd like to try out Whale and Defossilize in this set. You know, this is a reprint. I roughly know how it's going to work, so I think I'm going to cut it. So that takes us down to 2 non-permanents. Both of them are graveyard cards, so I can live with it. Yeah. I can live with it. So yeah, we've got 2 cyclers, so we could consider doing this. I don't think that's a terrible idea. Our curve is fairly low. Right now, we've got 6 artifacts and 3 pirates, which is, I think, more than enough for crewmate. This is our first draft, yes. 2 more cards to cut. Maybe we don't want the Wrestler. I mean, I do think it's plenty good, but... That would cut an artifact, obviously. This, honestly, isn't amazing in our deck because we're not making use of the other bodies all that much. Yeah, Song is definitely not great. I don't love that I'm sort of low on removal, but it is definitely weak. And we have plenty of better ways to load the graveyard. So I think that's a good cut. Could cut a Brine Fang. Though I am curious to see how the land cyclers play out. Yeah, let's cut a Cogwork Wrestler. We could cut a Sentry. Yeah, maybe that's just better. So now our Staunch Crewmate has 6 artifacts and 2 pirates. I think that's still enough for it. So, all right. I think this will be our deck. We definitely have a bunch of graveyard stuff going on. Yeah. Yeah, Chupas are our main removal. It's true. I wish I had more ways to get them back if they get milled, but that's okay. That is okay. All right. Well, kind of funnily enough, we don't really have any way to load our graveyard, but we have everything else. I don't really see a point in playing Cogwork Wrestler unless we're actually going to do something with it. Although, opponent kills it, it goes in the graveyard. It can attack. I mean, that's something. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to play it out. It's definitely not exciting, but puts our opponent under a tiny bit of pressure. And if a permanent's in play, it's one step closer to going in our graveyard. So it is a cool board. Yeah, don't love that. Okay. Do I play out Braided Net and just start doing the tap thing? I probably do. Like, We're not behind on board, and it's a card that doesn't really add to it, so I think we do. Yeah, we will go ahead and tap this. The trigger may not get them anything, but it can attack completely unabated right now, and if they did draw a card off of it, it would feel very bad for us. So okay, well, now we're talking about loading the graveyard. So let's play Inverted Iceberg. Mill a card. I do need another black at some point for my Chupacabra, but you know. Then we play Deathcat Marionette. We do want to mill ourselves. All right, so we're up to 3 on Chupacabra all of a sudden. Would have been nice to mill our big land cycler so we could defossilize something here, but honestly, defossilizing Waterwind Scout is not a terrible next turn. It's not amazing, but like I would take it. Turning this into a huge creature isn't that far off. Yeah, so we're going to do this again. They can attack with the other thing if they really want to. Chupa is Fathomless Descent, so it doesn't care how many times. You just need as many permanents as possible. Do I trade my Marionette for that thing? I don't think so. Does make Chupacabra even better, but... Okay. So I think I am going to defossilize here. It's not the most exciting defossilize that's ever happened. But getting back Waterwind Scout and exploring twice is like a pretty reasonable turn. Obviously, it can kill this in combat. If it's a 4/4, it can do more than kill it in combat. If I got the puzzle door down and drew a land, I'd be able to set up getting the big creature, but... Yeah, so let's go ahead and defossilize here. Okay. So we can make it a 4/4 if we just leave Waterwind Scout on top. That seems pretty good here. Pretty good. We are still a ways away from Chupacabra Echo territory, but it's probably okay. Just because we need a swamp, I mean. Alright, so they kill that thing. Do I want to tap anything with Braided Net here? I guess the flyer. These I can trade with, so... Hopefully this trigger doesn't give them anything. That's the, It does not. Wonder if they're splashing or just running Scampering Surveyor to run Scampering Surveyor. Well, they don't want it. Yeah, that's not good news. I need to kill that. So before I do anything else here, I think I'm going to explore. Because if I can hit a swamp, our problems get a lot less problematic. And we do. Thank goodness. Alright, yeah. So now we play Chupacabra Echo. Get rid of that thing. Because it becomes a removal spell, and I don't really feel like dealing with that. There was a pretty good chance we were going to draw a swamp off of Explore, but yeah, I mean, there was some luck associated with it for sure. 6 land also means we can make this into a creature, which is nice. Yeah, this is going to hurt. I don't know that I really have the time to make this into a creature right now. All right, yeah, so let's play River Herald Scout. Do I want 2/2 flyer on top? I've already got 2/2 flyer in hand, but I guess probably. So if I explore again here, I know that I'm going to get a counter. But with Inverted Iceberg in play, I probably just want to transform it next turn. Yeah, we can definitely dig for another Chupacabra. All right, so we pass the turn. They do have their hidden land. I can use Puzzle Door, and maybe I just should to use my mana most effectively. Maybe I stick a land in the graveyard at this point. Yeah, I know the map is only sorcery speed. The Puzzle Door is not. Okay. That does make life more difficult on the ground for us. Definitely kill the flyer. I think we just take 5. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and crack this. Ooh, boy. We can get all 3 if we put this in our graveyard. Turn target non-land permanent. Do they have a card in their hand? No. Is likely to find us a Chupacabra. That means we got to descend 8. So the sad thing is we probably need a 2/2 flyer more. Well, I guess bouncing something's pretty powerful, honestly. Yeah, all right. So let's put this one in our hand and the other one in the graveyard. We're at descend 8. Okay. Do I just make a huge creature here? They're in top deck mode, so it feels like make a huge creature is where we want to go for this particular turn. So we will craft away here. Oh yeah, that's true. You have a good point. It would have made them discard whatever I bounce. That's pretty good. I wonder if getting rid of Braided Net was better, because I don't know that I'm ever going to craft it, you know? So we go to 2 here. It's not exactly where you want to be. Uh-oh. Yeah. Chupacabra. Hey, there's ours. If only it didn't need double black. I guess there's a good chance I hit a swamp. Or something I can play anyway. So yeah, I think we'll go ahead and cast our whale. Get all 3 effects. Bounce their Chupacabra Echo. I could bounce the Petrify. That might just be better. It makes my 2/3 a creature again. Can trade with the Echo. Okay, well. I think I probably grab Lodestone Needle here. And end our turn. We do need to find a way to win this game. Like, I think we're probably going to stabilize, but still need to find a way to win. Chupacabra Echo is doing -11 right now for those keeping score at home. I'm holding on to this because it might be our way to win, I guess. I can't tap their creatures. I'm out of net counters. Oh, you mean with the needle? It has flash, so I'm going to wait to do it. And I think I'll be tapping the Echo, because I can't just block it and kill it. I mean, I can trade with it, but that's not really what I want to be doing. Is this a Desperation Scry, or do they have a trick? Either way, I have to block, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, no. Doesn't it stink to die to that kind of effect? I think it does. All right. Fine. I mean, I think we proved the synergy is real, but, you know, there's nothing I can do about dying to the flying trick. Our deck is slow, that's for sure, but... Too bad they didn't forget how the stun counters work. Because if they tried to untap their other creature, it wouldn't have untapped, so... We got to Descend 8, and it wasn't like a huge task. I mean, we didn't even have a hand that started out that well. I give the trick a C-. I mean, that means a C- trick can do that, you know? Okay. Pretty good hand. Much better start than our last one had. Ooh, look who it is. That card's pretty nasty. It's going to be doing some damage, most likely. I think it's safe to say. Do I want to start loading my graveyard for Defossilize and Wail of the Forgotten? I mean, I'm going to trade whatever I play, most likely, for Zoyoa. If I wait till next turn to play this, I can also explore in the same turn. Yeah, let's play the Phantom. I mean, you need time, but you also need cards that will load your graveyard. Well, that's nasty. Inverted Iceberg, huh? Who's exploring? This thing has Death Touch, so trading with it is the same no matter what, pretty much. Alright, we hit a land, so it doesn't really matter. We'll attack for 1. So, we're again in a spot where maybe we just defossilize. Although, getting Waterwind Scout again, honestly, doesn't sound too bad. Alright, so that's a 3/3. I can bounce it before it matters. Ooh, so we have the combo of defossilizing Marauding Brinefang next turn. Okay. So I think that means this turn, we're probably just going to bounce the Skull Taker. Then cycle this, then defossilize next turn. Yeah. That seems pretty good. Try to overwhelm them with our huge ward creature. Hello. I honestly think just throwing things in the graveyard has some serious value right now. So that's what I'm going to do. Seven, 8 Brinefang. Nice. Okay. Smash in for 7. I think I'm going to play Preacher and Braided Net here. We're at Descend 4 for our cards that care about that. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and tap this. We can tap another thing on our turn if we really want to. All right, so Rock Slide on that thing, huh? Okay. So let's Iceberg. I might just make this into a 6/6 like now. But probably not, I guess. Drawing a bunch of cards with this is potentially, like, if we haven't milled an artifact yet, right? No. We would need to mill one for it to be worth it, I think, because I don't really want to lose the iceberg. Yeah, Edict would be real bad. I think the only one in the format is Sorcery Speed, at least. So we don't have to worry too hard about it, but yeah, an Edict would be nasty on our Brine Fang. I always end up playing Lord Tupperware in this event. I'm sure he's saying the same thing about me. It makes sense. We both mostly, when it comes to gameplay at least, I only make limited content, and he's all limited, so. Ooh, we hit it. Look at that. We hit an artifact. How beautiful is that? Okay. So let's attack for 7. They might have a braid. Like, you know, that's something to think about. So if I try to transform this now, like, I just take a huge tempo hit. Is it better to just play this and draw a card? Nah. I can still just tap their creature if I want to, so. Okay, so they're going to go after me here? Yeah. All right, well, that time the graveyard thing worked out a little more smoothly. We didn't have such a hard time getting our feet under us as we did in the other game. No Chupacabras showed up in that one. That's not going to happen very often in a deck with this much card draw and mill and 3 Chupacabras, but it happened. Yeah, it turns out reanimating huge war dinosaur is pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good hand. Double. I was complaining about Chupacabras. We got 2 in this hand. Haven't seen our cave yet. Yeah, it's a terrible card. You're right. Right now, our win rate when we draw a Chupacabra is 0%, and our win rate when we don't is 100. So we should probably cut him after this one. Probably should cut them. This is a pretty good hand, though. I mean, we've got... Probably play this first, just because of the cards. Although, like, if I really need to get a 3/3 out there, I'll do it, I guess. Alright, yeah. So, Necropolis. If I do play it, it'll be able to attack on the next turn. That's something. Because I'll make an artifact. Staunch Crewmate on top, huh? Is it better to play Shipwreck Sentry here? Just because it can block it, you know, if I don't, depends on what I hit with River Herald Scout, but I may not be able to block this anyway. If I play Shipwreck Sentry, it sets up a situation where they probably can't attack us. Yeah, we'll probably just play the Sentry. Then I can attack with it next turn if I really want to. Well, we could have had the same turn 2 and turn 3, you know, other than our lands. All right, so we're compiling Chupacabras, all of them in our hand now. We need another land to show up, obviously. I think we play Waterwind Scout here. And we can attack, but I don't think we do. We do have our double black, which is good news. But we also have nothing in our graveyard. I mean, we could change that, but it's going to take some time. Like, we need to put Brine Fangs in our graveyard. Or trading right now is honestly pretty attractive for us because of our Chupacabras. Yeah, Island Cycle plus River Herald Scout is not bad. Not bad. We can do that even if we don't draw a land. All right, so they're going to freeze down something. All right, we definitely trade. Like I said, trades are attractive. All right, we do not draw land, but we can Island Cycle and play River Herald Scout. Gets us 2 permanents in our graveyard while we're at it. Waterwind Scout does seem pretty good. But a 3rd card in our graveyard also means Chupacabra Echo. Yeah, let's put it in the graveyard. Right now, if they have 2 X3s in play, getting to a 3rd permanent, like, for sure, was pretty important when you have 3 Chupacabra Echoes in your hand, I think. I kind of hope they don't make this a 3-4 here, because they do. Of course they do. Okay. So we're probably taking 6 this turn. They went for the graveyard too, interestingly. They're going to be a less graveyardy deck. Like, white barely cares about the graveyard. They could have the 1 white mana reanimate a thing, I guess. Do they whiff? I would like it if they whiffed, but it's taking too long for them to have whiffed. Oh, good, another Waylaying Pirates. That's just what I wanted to see. All right, so we take 6 to the face. And there's another creature in the mix. This is interesting. I think I'm actually going to play Puzzle Door. So they're going to freeze something down here. So yeah, I think we play Puzzle Door. I think we activate it. All right, put 1 in our hand, 1 in our graveyard. And I think we play Deathcap Marionette. Oh yeah, we definitely mill. And then we can explore. So they're going to freeze something down. Having another 3-4 would be pretty good. And that's what we get. Seems like holding on to a flyer is not a bad plan here. All right, so we've got shields up. They are going to freeze something here with Waylaying. Actually, they don't have an artifact, do they? Nice. I just realized they don't have an artifact. That means they mostly can't attack us other than with Miner's Guidewing. Yeah, that's annoying. And now they have an artifact in play. So they'll freeze the other thing. Yeah. All right, so we're going to trade for that. Kind of have to play the Chupacabra now, and we'll use it to kill the 3/4. I think we just keep trading off. I mean, we have to keep our life total high, as we've seen. I guess I don't hate going to 6, honestly. We'll just trade with that. Or 5, rather. So there's Defossilize. Get back Chupacabra. Kill something's really good. Getting back Brine Fang's pretty good. But getting back Chupacabra is probably just better. Because we get to kill something. Like, a huge creature is nice and all. Well, maybe we just want the huge creature. I have 2 other Chupacabras in my hand, after all. Yeah, let's go huge creature. Cogwork Wrestler's pretty good. I think we actually leave it. Don't think I have the guts to crack in for 3 here. I think we attack with Brine Fang here. See what happens. All right, so I think we play Phantom. Well, that's annoying. The only good news... Well, yeah. So they get to discover X2. What do they hit? Spyglass Siren. Oh, good, another flyer. That is really bad. Like, that card, when it works, is so busted. When it doesn't, obviously it's not very good, but... Oh, God. They're playing a lot of flyers. There's only so much I can do about them. Oh, good. They drew a land that's a flyer, too. I'm so thankful for that. Alright, so we got to do this. Don't think we can win this one, but I guess we'll see. Certainly not drawing like that. So yeah, we're dead because they can animate this and kill us. I guess maybe I'm supposed to hit an Necropolis and hope we hit something, because playing Chupacabra Echo's not going to cut it. Yeah, I mean, playing Chupacabra Echo, I can kill this, but then I take 4 in the air anyway. So... Interesting. We do have Descend 8 again, for what that's worth. So... let's bounce this. Make them discard. If only I had a little more time. Just a little bit more time. And we're dead. Provided they animate their land. If they choose not to animate their land, we have a little bit of a chance. Maybe I should have taken the land if that's the case. No, no. I guess now if they just hit on explore, they can kill me too. And they do. And they animate their land. I mean, I think we've seen so far that getting to descend is very doable. But the question is, do you get too far behind spending so much time getting there? Because in game 1 and game 3, we both kind of stabilized. We were at the point where, if our opponent didn't have flyers, there was no way they would have beaten us, basically. But they did, and the hurl into history on our 3-mana 2/2 flyer was backbreaking. That was especially painful. And that's what hurl can do, it just is so swingy. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the win rate is on that card, because there's going to be games where having it in your opening hand is awful, right? But by the later stages of the game, it's kind of nuts. So, it's kind of insane. But we have gotten to Descend 8 in every game, haven't we? I think we have. Wonder if I should have played Chupacabras earlier in that particular game. I did hold on to them for a while, waiting for a better situation, but then bad things started happening. So. Okay. Yeah, pretty solid hand. Can play pretty much everything and have some graveyard stuff going on. I think this is a hand where we hold on to Cogwork Wrestler. One mana 2/2 it is. And they have an Earthshaker Dreadmaw on top of their library. If they're black-green, they could stick that in the graveyard to try to reanimate it. Alright, so let's play Shipwreck Sentry here. This is our first draft still. All right, we've got the Defossilize combo. I kind of don't think we're supposed to hold it up here, though. I think I just play Crewmate here. We get a Lodestone Needle. Yeah, that's pretty gross. Yeah, I definitely think we trade here. They could have a trick. But I think that's kind of okay. Okay. So, I could cast this, grab an island, play Lodestone Needle to shut down Poison Dart Frog, and that's almost like land destruction right now. So I kind of like that. We do also have the Cogwork Wrestler nonsense, though. So let's attack them. Let's attack them first. Well, the Kaldheim pick was cheaper to equip, but yeah, they are very similar. Worth comparing, that's for sure. All right, so... yeah, let's do this. Grab an island. I do think I'm going to wait to play the Needle, because if they decide to equip the pickaxe, things get interesting. They do know we have the needle, so I kind of doubt they equip. Okay, I guess I'm wrong. So yeah, let's go ahead and freeze that down. I could actually just use Cogwork Wrestler. But if I wait to do that, they're going to get a treasure. Yeah, let's just go ahead and Lodestone Needle. Yeah, so they do get... They're going to hold on to some mana. So next turn, we're reanimating our Marauding Brine Fang again. I think we go ahead and attack with the Marauding Brine Fang in mind here. We've done this several times. I think we've been kind of lucky to do it as many times as we have, honestly. So... Didact Echo does seem clunky as heck, but I can play it and leave up Cogwork Wrestler next turn. That sounds pretty good to me. We do want Cogwork Wrestler to die so that we can transform things, I guess, but... They're not too far from Earthshaker Dreadmaw, which I'm not really looking forward to. Does put kind of a clock on our game here. Okay. So yeah, next turn they'll be able to play Earthshaker. Don't love that. Alright, so we're going to attack with Marauding Brine Fang here. So Earthshaker Dreadmaw is going to make this into a 6 this next turn. Wonder if I'm supposed to bounce it here. Nah, probably not. Oh, I forgot that that didn't untap. They could still play Earthshaker, but I was thinking it was going to be a little worse than this. I'm gonna play that instead. I'm a lot happier with that. Other than taking 7 here, I guess. That part's not so good. Do we block? I probably do. Although, this next turn I can play this, bounce that, attack with both of these. They have to block. So maybe I'm just supposed to take 8 here, huh? Yeah, I'm just going to take 8. Am I? No, I'm not. They have to block either way. So, yeah, we'll kill it. Take some trample damage. Alright. Actually, I bounced this because then they have to block with Cavern Stomper. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Now they have no dinosaurs in play for, yeah. Ooh, if they try a fight here, Cogwork Wrestler is going to be hilarious. It doesn't quite do the job because it's going to get +1. Right? Show me this card, please. Why are you like this? Oh, wait. There we go. Yeah, so it'll still have 1 power, which is enough to kill it, so... Oh, but they didn't pay the ward. Whoops. Whoopsies. Yeah, that was a mistake. So, we're 2-0 when we don't get Chupacabras. It's kind of funny. Yeah, they didn't have enough mana. The ward was too high. The ward was such a high tax. Even if that had resolved, I could have basically still killed them on the next turn. Like, it would have been close, I guess, but... Not a great hand. We don't have anything early other than island cycling. And we're not even going first. I think I have to mulligan, unfortunately. This format seems slower than some of them lately, but it still seems like not doing anything that adds to the board meaningfully until, like, turn 4. I mean, this can get you back ahead from behind, I guess, but man. Yeah, I think we mulligan. All right, this is a lot better. I'm going to hold on to the Necropolis because it's basically just got upside, although, yeah. Yeah, let's hold on to the Necropolis. It comes into play tapped, but, you know, that's fine. If you're playing it on turn 1 especially. We can tap their stuff until then. Yeah, starting on turn 3, it's a little too slow, I think. I'd probably play Waterwind Scout before the Preacher just because, you know, removal. The Preacher does block better here, but I can also wait to have the mana up till later. So yeah, I think we still do this. Do I trade? With the Chupacabra in our hand, it's certainly tempting to. That's pretty nasty. I kind of think we need to now, yeah. See if they have a trick. Man, if they have the +2/+2 trample trick and destroy our map token... Okay, they don't. They do get treasure, though. Preacher is a rare, yeah. Okay. Well, we'll play our Preacher here. I don't think we explore or play Puzzle Door. I think we leave up mana for Wrestler. Puzzle Door would put 2 things in our graveyard. Almost definitely permanents, but... yeah, that's gross. All right. Yeah, I don't think we play out the Wrestler in this situation. So I have less life right now. So I would get a 1/1 if I attacked. That's interesting. But it's probably better to play Screaming Phantom and leave up mana for Cogwork Wrestler. Yeah. I think that's better. I could attack, and if they did something like double block Preacher of the Schism, I'd blow them out, but I think there's a very low chance they do, and then I don't have a good blocker. So I don't think that's what we want to do. I can explore here, though. That might be... That's probably worthwhile. All right. Pass the turn. What will happen here? Ooh, yeah, that card's gross. I'm not particularly close to being able to kill it, unless they let me get rid of some permanents here, because then I could play Puzzle Door and Chupacabra next turn. See what happens. I kind of don't imagine they're going to let me do that. Yeah, they do not. Okay. So let's play Puzzle Door. Let's use this ability. So we're up to 3 all of a sudden. I'd probably just play the Echo. Seems like leaving up Cogwork Wrestler is still pretty powerful here. So I think we just play River Herald Scout. Oh, except I can't leave up Cogwork Wrestler. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. Not what I should have done. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Well, turns out that misplay is not that big of a deal. Wow, so they're going to hit that. They're going to kill something. My Phantom. Feels good. All right. Well, play Chupacabra Echo. Kill that. I don't think we can survive here. We lost every game where we got a Chupacabra Echo. How funny is that? Yeah, that'll do it. So the deck definitely felt too slow against some opponents, which I think is gonna be a thing, but getting Descend going wasn't that hard. I mean, you know, if we had Ravenous Chupacabras instead of Chupacabra Echoes in those games, we would have been way better off because we had to take time to set things up, but I think it went pretty well still. Not a bad first draft. We definitely played around with synergy, which is what I always like to do in these early access events.